Hey everybody, welcome to Sunday's Coffee Lounge Talk. So if you're new here, in these episodes I take one or two Bible verse and then I share how I connect my life story with these verses, and then I also request you to share it in the comments how you kind of connect your life story with them. And you don't have to be Christian for that. You can follow any religion or no religion, but 2000 years ago people had similar type of challenges that we go through today, and how they have overcome those challenges is how I kind of learn from it and try to keep going. So today's verse I'm going to share with you is Galatians 6:9. Galatians 6:9. It says, "Let's not be weary in doing good, for we will reap in due season if we don't give up." So the other day, I went to my friend's place. It was last weekend, and her mom is going through some health challenges. So we have been praying. And for a little bit, we sat outside. It was Sunday morning, I think. We sat outside. The sun was up. It was not too hot, but it was just nice to sit outside and have breakfast together. And that moment felt so peaceful. If you have that opportunity, I would definitely recommend for you to sometimes just go out, sit outside, even if it is for 10 minutes, and absorb the sun, hear the birds chirping or any other kind of sound that you can hear outside. Just be present with all your senses. That will be an experience. You don't have to go to the ocean or the mountain to experience life in a different way. You can just go outside. Interestingly, now that I'm making the video outside, right outside there's a car. It's still there, and it had John 3:16 written on it, and also it was this big letter, "Forward in love." I thought, how amazing is that? I know it's not related, but it was interesting because today I was making some Coffee Lounge Talk videos, because I'll be making two more after this, because sometime I filmed them in advance. And you guys may have seen this poster. I bought this a while ago. You don't see it in all of the Coffee Lounge videos, but you can see how amazing it is. Coffee, Christ offers forgiveness for everyone, everywhere. Again, I don't force or control anybody to convert. I think faith is very personal, because I grew up Hindu all my life. So if somebody told me 3 years ago I'll be Christian, I'll be like, what are you talking about, right? So in my life, how things have unfolded, I don't have words to explain it. I don't even know myself how. Anyway, so faith is very personal. That's what I believe. God has his timing and purpose and all of that for everybody. If you are supposed to follow certain faith, you will be guided. If you're not supposed to, I think, that's your choice. So anyway, going back to the story where we were sitting outside and it was so amazing. So my friend's cup had this writing: "Proceed as if success is inevitable." Proceed as if success is inevitable. So when I saw the message on the cup, I told her that I'm going to make a video about that, because it resonated so deeply with me. And then, I looked up the Bible verse that goes with it, because when this journey started, if you have been following this channel from the beginning, from 2024, you guys know that it started as a survival guide, because I lost my executive career and my marriage in the same month, November of 2023. Both were sudden, and after that, life was dark, very, very dark. After that, I kept going one day at a time. I had no idea where life was heading, but I knew that I had to live my life. I couldn't give up because of my daughter. My daughter was 7 then, turning 8 in a few months, and now she's 10. So, but the point is that in the beginning, I didn't know if there will be any success, but now, like where I am, it took me, I would say, about 9-10 months and fully probably a year to process it and get to that zone where I feel the peace, I feel the joy, like, Where did my coffee mug go? Oh my God, it's in the kitchen. I'm warming up at the coffee lounge. In the next one, it'll be there. So, and that coffee mug, it has grow through what you go through. So anyway, so for me, success is that feeling, right? Success is that feeling. When I started saying this, it's a new thing that I say, peace is the new luxury, really. You know, you call it peace, you call it joy. And there's a difference between joy and happiness. Joy is like, you know, you're taking a sip of coffee and then you're feeling this contentment, right? You don't want anything else. You're just happy being where you are. And it's kind of funny. I don't deviate. You guys know sometimes I deviate. My daughter and I were playing last night some things. There were words written on the rocks. Oh my God, it's making me laugh. And so it was supposed to be like she picks up the rock and then she asked me a question and I'm supposed to guess. And the word was joy. And she's like, ha 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 hee hee. Oh my goodness. You guys might be thinking I'm crazy, but you know, that's the thing. You gotta enjoy those little moments, right? So as now, whenever I think of the word joy, it reminds me of her funny act. So anyway, peace, joy, and the love. And the love I talk about is the self-love, not in a selfish way, but in a compassionate way, right? So we are normally like very friendly towards other people. We want to help them, but when it comes to ourselves, we tend to become self-critical more than having self-compassion. And that is what self-love is about. Because think of your soul as a different person. I mean, it's not a different person, but that might help you to love your soul more deeply, right? It's the inner coach and the inner critic, right? So the way I connect with whole messages, proceed as if success is inevitable. To me, success is the joy in the journey that, you know, every single day. Then when I feel grateful about, like you guys have seen the videos, like where I talked about I'm grateful for the sky, the tree, the Mother Earth, and I still feel grateful for all of that. And there's so many things that is unfolding, right? The books that I published, 3 books I published, and there are so many other things that is helping people. So, you know, when we do that we are not running towards a destination. We are where we are, and this is what we are calling it success. Because if we're to die tomorrow, how do we live today, right? And for me, that is how it has become, because one day it will be true, my friends, for all of us. So live your day as if like this is your last day. Now, you don't want to spend all your money and then tomorrow, okay, you have no money. That's not the point, but you know what I'm talking about. It's not that, okay, I have 50 years left and I have to budget for 50 years and this is because, you know, 20 years down the line, what will happen? Who knows? So you have to balance everything. The term is balance, you know, go to the places that you want to go, and also, like, you know, you save whatever makes sense. But again, goes back to because this message was so amazing. Because to me, when I do this work, I really genuinely love this. Really, because this is like, to me, this is calling. This is the purpose. And I worked in my corporate world for 21 years. And, you know, I have had good jobs. I had bad jobs and good bosses, bad bosses. But this is like, I think the reason is the biggest reason is who I am becoming in the process, right? I fell in love with that and that's what you gotta do, because that is when your purpose meets your passion, right? I had all these big ideas or whatnot in the corporate, and the ideas would get shut down. Now I have all those big ideas that where I want to help people, and a lot of them I can implement, and a lot of just not a lot, like, well, yeah, maybe a lot. I have to push to the back burner that when I have investment and stuff like that, I'll be able to do more. Like if I want to do something globally right now, I don't have the investment. But the point is, that, it's this what I'm starting today. Maybe someday my daughter will do it, I don't know. But the point is, like, it's the joy in the journey, and then really feeling like that, okay, this is going to manifest, right? Because this feeling that this is going to work out, I cannot explain, because I never had this feeling before, because I had 7 other startups, some by myself and some with my ex. But then this is like, okay, how all of this will come together, and when all of this will come together, like, all the future plans that I have for the company, Midlife Reinvention, I don't know. But I don't worry, I don't stress, because I have joy in the journey. So I don't say it in a braggy way. I say it very deeply, humbly, because, sometimes we have to lose it all to really know what's in our soul. You have to strip it down to the point that there is nothing to be ashamed of, right? Because you are emotionally naked. I don't know how else to say it, meaning I lost my job, I lost my marriage in the same month. And it's not easy, my friends. People who lose one, for them it's hard. For me, it was both in the same month, within a few weeks. I did not think that I could make it through. I did not know that I could make it through, and which is why this life, after 2.5 years, actually in a few months, coming November, this is June, November will be 3 years, it feels like a dream. It feels like a dream, because I did not imagine, even in my wildest dream, that this could happen, the life will unfold this way. But I think it goes back to this. This quote here, right? The Galatian, the verse, right? Let's not worry in doing good, because my goal was to keep doing good, to keep helping others all the time, always, even now, right? Like, my whole goal is, okay, I learned this, let me share this with others, right? And we will reap in due season if we don't give up. Because I was telling somebody yesterday that we are doing this big event on Labor Day weekend, and so people see that now I'm excited and want to do more events and whatnot, and it looks fun, and it is fun. I love all of it, right? But then I was telling her that how last year I actually created a similar event and nobody signed up. So the point is, so 𝗨𝗟 had a post a few months ago, I saved it for me, that extraordinary results in public is extraordinary suffering in private. It comes from extraordinary suffering from private. And it is true. Now, it's not to compare your suffering with my suffering, because when we compare, then actually pain increases. So the point is not to compare. The point is, like, where you are before, because we all are in our own journey, right? So you don't want to compare. So the point is, like, where I was a year ago versus now, and when you look back and see how far you have come, that will also help you to go further, right? So that's the goal. And where it says proceed as if success is inevitable, I wrote this down, what it was on the coffee mug, that if you have that certainty in your mind that this will succeed, which is what I have, and I don't know how I have that, and that's why I feel like there is some higher power behind all of this. I can't prove it, because this can't be proven, because it's the definitiveness. I just don't know how, like when and how is up to God, but this will work. And that is where you would find the joy, that peace, that self-love that comes from compassion. And when you can do that, that is the same compassion you can show outwards towards all the people. I talk about 8 billion human family, right? And living a dent of happiness in this world. Dent of happiness is because all these people, after divorce, people are, behind closed doors, they're going through shame and guilt, and that's what I want to help. So what are those things that you want to do? You want to continue keep doing good, because then you will see how your purpose meets your passion. And I also wish for your happiness and joy in your life. Okay, take care. Bye. Come every Sunday at 10 a.m. for these videos if it helps you.